He collab, man. Oakland Vallejo, the Bay Area, stand up. I'm from that town. She from Vallejo. Said let's collab. She said okay. We all should play. Hot potato. Whoever got the hottest challenges, it's me, I'm the best. Like creative players on hunters, no less. The lines in your forehead just told me you stressing. Got G-O-D on me side. Ooh, he blessed me. All these lies they tell it's a vaccine. They're acting it's a bed like it's wrestling. Keep my circle so small it's insane. If you made the cut then you're part of my team. Just like blowing that pint called strikes don't cut her. Attracted to the mind but I like my hooder. She gotta have a pretty face too.
Long ass intro. Welcome to the welcome to the channel. I was like, okay, it's still going. You know, I made it too. So I don't know why I complain about that. Welcome to my channel, Mrs. Best. We have James from Watch Your Mouth Reviews. He is the show. He is here. We are going to go over Housewives of Beverly Hills. I am not feeling the hottest, just so anyone's like, why does she seem a little off? I don't feel good. I'm in a lot of pain from lifting heavy shit at work. I'm old. I can't do things the way I used to. Anywho, we took a break. The show is back after the New Year's. This is not what I would call back with a bang.
Not the slightest.
Not even a little bit. This is more so Bravo, in my opinion, using a racial issue and a cast member that has a lot of racial undertones to like profit, because y'all could have gave us the episode we got today like a few weeks ago. Like you could have just completed it all, in my
especially
opinion.
if it was gonna be this of a filler episode.
Yeah, there wasn't much that happened, so I'll go over like the key things that did happen. To start, we see Doris leave the party. For those who don't know, we will refer to Dorit as Doris because that's just what she looks like. A Doris. I don't think her name's Dorit. I don't think she thinks her name is Dorit. I'm sick of her and her accent. But she leaves after she tries to stir the pot, and basically no one took her bait. Well, not in front of her, at the very least. When she leaves, Erica and Denise, they did kind of take the bait, but Dorit was gone by then, so it wasn't really a thing. But basically, and I'm not even going to go over this because to me it's stupid to argue about something that happened like half a decade ago. This happened years ago. Like,
you talking about Denise? Yeah, Denise. I don't know what the fuck you were on. And
you let
I don't know
Renna run you off the show.
Right, you let Renna run you off, and now you want to take it out on Erica. I was like, I was with Erica up until the OnlyFans shit. I was with Erica up until then. And that's where Erica lost me. Because I was like, like, Denise, what the hell are you doing? You didn't have an argument. All you had to say was, Erica, look, girl, I don't like you and all that, but I was high as hell. I don't know what the fuck I said, but I don't fool with you. I don't feature you. So you, from this day moving forward, we can keep it cordial and keep it cute. Hi, how you doing? Thank you, please, and all that and shit. But I'm not finna. For me, watching Denise talk about the whole case, and it's like, Erica, that shit old now. I mean, Denise, that shit is old. That shit is old now. Who cares?
It's really, really old. Erica did lie, though. The government is still trying to figure that out.
Yeah, that's still investing. I'm glad you brought that up. I missed that the first time I saw that. When I saw it, I just watched it again just now, and I was like,
Erica, at the end of the day, if you don't want to talk about the case, then don't talk about the case. I don't like how she's handled the case, just in the fact, without judging her, that she talks about it when it's convenient for her, but then gets at everybody else about it. I don't like that part. If you're going to talk about it, talk about it. If you're not going to talk about it, then don't talk about it. But other than that, don't care. So she goes in, basically, Denise is explaining, oh, I don't like how you insinuated about the threesome. And they show the editors the clips because Erica's like, well, you were talking about big dicks and juicy dicks and all this kind of stuff. So production shows us. And Denise was. And she did that whole season. That's pretty much what she led with. Was, I'm Denise Richards. I have sex appeal. I've still got it. My husband's young. That's what she talked about. And it's on TV. So listen, this show is what? Rated TV 14. It is not rated TV MA. It is something that is rated for teenagers to watch. So I don't see the big damn deal in the situation. Now, just like James said, without going over everything again, Erica lost me when she started bringing up her daughter. Like,
no, it was the undertone that how she said it. It was like, so who's more profitable, you or Sammy? I was like, oh, no. That is way too low, ma'am. I am sorry. We can hoe and slut each other to the deaths fall out because we grown ass women. But that baby is still underage.
Yeah.
So we're not gonna play like that, Erica. Like I'm sorry, those are not putting on fair gloves. That is playing dirty.
I just don't think you should ever talk about nobody's kids, even if the little girl was grown. Like, if you have a problem with somebody, have a problem with that person. I don't need to get mad at James and then start talking about, whoever you love, your mama, your kids,
it's like that shit was
anything
unnecessary
to do with my issue with you. Like, so that's the thing I don't understand. I understand Erica was trying to be petty. I know some people are like, oh, have a moment. I'm all for being petty and messy. I mean, let's keep it real. That's why we recap and watch these shows. But I don't play that shit. Keep people's families, children, dogs, all of the above, pets and all, out of your mouth. It's just always going to be a low blow, especially when you the bitch that had a fucking meltdown on Eileen for bringing up very real things and concerns that most of society have about cops. You took that personally against your fucking child and lost your shit seasons ago. So now you can come and talk about somebody else's child. Listen, your son's a cop and it's a controversial career in today's time. And it's controversial because of cop behavior, not because
it was controversial then when Eileen brought that shit up.
Right.
I forgot about that either because I was mad at Erica then. And I was like, Eileen, see, that's why I love Eileen. Because Eileen was so poised and just didn't know what to do. Had she had somebody like a Mary Cosby or a Monica or somebody, they probably would have pressed her in her forehead. Like, who you talking to?
Because Eileen,
that's what she needs. She needs a
white woman.
Who you talking to?
Yeah, you.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, we don't need all that. No, she need a who you talking to. And put her finger right up. Let me point this with this finger. Who is you talking to? That's what she needed. And I thought they was gonna bring somebody like that. But I forgot how much Cherie got saved. That's why they didn't. Yeah, that's why that didn't happen. I feel like Garcelle need another girlfriend on that show. I do. I don't know why I feel like this.
Because
I feel like
Sutton and Garcelle go have each other's back. But
no,
Sutton
I need
is always a
Garcelle
target
to reach
for these women.
Who would be a good girlfriend for not Tisha Campbell? I don't feel like Tisha.
Please don't put her on your screens.
Where is Lela Rashawn at? That's who need to come on. Lela, where you at? Where is you at these days?
I need like the bougiest.
I need the
uppitiest,
but still got that Wendy Raquel Robinson. Where is you at? I know you could use this. Wendy Raquel Robinson. Where is you at?
Oh, that's a good choice.
Yes.
She would be good with these women.
Absolutely.
I actually never think of her, and I love her.
Because she acts just like her character from The Game. She really do. I thought she acted like the Steve Harvey character that she played on the Steve Harvey show. I thought that's what she was really like.
Girl.
That girl, when I tell you, she all that and more, yeah.
I love Wendy Raquel Robinson. If you know, you know. I know the new generation is probably
they ain't gonna know who I'm talking about, but to me, that's my girl. Her, Niecy Nash. Yes, them my girls. I love them.
Child. So the last thing we see of this stupid dinner is pretty much Denise, when she brings up Erica's scandal, and I thought this was funny, and this is the last thing I'll comment on. Kim said, well, it's time for me to go. Kim said, I'm getting the hell out of Dodge. She said,
Kim did the Tupac when he drank the rest of his beer because he know that 5% happened before they shut. That was Kim.
Kim got the hell out of Dodge. And that's the difference I noticed between Kim and her sisters, which we'll talk about a little more. Kim and Kathy will avoid scandal. Kyle runs toward that shit to remain relevant in the press. And it's obvious. I mean, there's people going around saying there's insiders going to TMZ and all of the blogs and stuff talking about how Kyle and Mauricio separation is not the realest thing, which I can believe, because if you're going through, like, before you even get to a point of separating from a husband or someone you live with, like, I just feel like
Kyle is strategic. So, because she's pretentious, she ain't gonna let too much shit slip under the reefs. But I feel like they've had this kind of arrangement for quite some time. This is allegedly, this is what I believe. I believe that they've had some kind of arrangement. Maybe not their first season on the show. I think somewhere around season 10. they had an understanding with each other that I feel like that's what seeped through the cracks. And now, because Kyle wants to be free in this sexuality all of a sudden, now she wanted, play it up with, because it's kind of like Love and Hip Hop Miami. Girl that was with the woman now, Flo.
Oh,
It's kind of like that, where we don't believe that shit worth a damn. But Marlon told you couldn't be with no dude on no TV show, but he'll let you be with a woman because it wasn't nobody gonna believe that shit. And if it is
yeah.
believable, he probably would get entertained by it.
Yeah,
That's what Mauricio
I
gives
don't
me.
buy it. Kyle doesn't understand. We're so uninterested in your separation. And I know it's the opposite of whatever she wanted, whether it's real or fake. I know that she just wanted people to care. And it's gotten to a point where no one kind of cares. But speaking of Kyle, after they move past all that shit and Kim leaves, she then does what she always does, which is why new cast members that are not ass kissers don't really care for Kyle. She makes it about herself. This is why Kyle and Dorit get along. Lisa Vanderpump has accused Kyle of this. Adrienne Maloof has accused Kyle of this. Taylor Armstrong accused Kyle of it. Pretty much every cast member that's been on the show has accused Kyle of making things about her the same way Dorit does. And she does. Everyone leaves, and now she's suddenly bringing up the dinner that happened at her house, where people were questioning her on her marriage. And she said, how come nobody defended me at the table? And I said to myself, Kyle, you don't get it. When you're in everybody else's business and highly pretentious and telling everyone's business, like literally giggling with your husband and other people's husbands about other people's business. When it comes time to your business and people see that you're acting strange and not telling them shit, nobody's going to want to feel bad for you or defend you. They just want to know the truth. Before they can defend you, they got to get to the fucking truth. And no one knows that you're struggling or not because you haven't confirmed.
It wasn't even that.
anything.
It was like, how the fuck do you compare you and somebody questioning your marriage to somebody asking whether or not someone's child is profitable on OnlyFans? How the fuck do you equate those two things? Please let me know.
Why people
because I was like, wait, how we get here, Kyle? How we get here? Are you 15 years old now? Is that what we're talking about?
Kyle
Man,
is
you are
like
54 years old. You are too grown.
Right.
Garcelle's point is, if that comment bothered you, why didn't you say something? Oh, I forgot. It's Erica. That's why you didn't say nothing.
Kyle, I think of everybody acts the most fearful of Erica on the show. It's kind of pathetic because if I was Erica, I'd be offended at these bitches acting like they're so afraid or treading, whatever the fuck, thin ice and water with me, because she hasn't done anything to any of these women to make them fear her. And like, no matter how we feel about Erica,
you know what it is, and we're gonna, and I know you got stuff to do after this, but I'm gonna make this point real quick. You know what it is? It's because people have seen her go off on Teddy, go off on Eileen, and she talks 50 miles per hour and uses big words and and shuts people down, don't let them get a word in. She got that lawyer talk down. I promise you. Arguing with a lawyer, and when you've been married to one for 20 years like she has, you adopt their skills to a T. And people are scared to go to bat with her. That shit doesn't intimidate me. When I tell you I will go to the white meat with her, because I can do that too. I can do exactly what she does. I can even do better than she does. She don't want to argue.
Erica hasn't met her match in this cast of women. I always thought that when she joined this, it doesn't.
No, and the thing about it is, she's talking about because the thing she hates being called is a liar. Ma'am, you lied. You lied. I said it. You lied. Okay, come get me. You lied. You lied about what's going on with your husband. You lied about the accident. You lied. Sutton proved that. Now I'll be like, Sutton, give me them goddamn receipts. I'll do it. You lied, ma'am. On this right here says you lied.
Listen,
I don't give a fuck about that. Everybody lies.
Psychology and statistical facts say that people who don't lie never feel the need to say I don't lie, because they know that their actions are going to show that for themselves. It's called a conscience. Well, Erica feeling the need to always remind us that she doesn't lie is the very thing that reminds us that she lies all the time.
Well, she lies. You lied.
Nobody, lady, I'm sick of Erica, but it is what it is. Kyle says what she says. No one really gave a damn. And they finally move on from this dinner. So they move on from the dinner, and we see that Garcelle is talking to Sutton, basically, and Doris and Erica Jane meet up. And Dorit, I'm gonna need you to stop using your kids to make us want you on the show. I don't give a damn how cute your little fucking kids are. It doesn't make me want you on this show. If anything, you're doing your kids a disservice by being on the show, because by the time you're done in the way you fucking act, people are going to question your entire family. That's all I'll say there. But Garcelle explains that she's been upset about the word attack that Dorit used. They replay the clip, which I was glad they did because I didn't feel like rewatching the other episode. And when they replayed the clip, I did understand Garcelle. I know people even within the Black community have been online saying she's doing too much or she's milking this. But I think that we forget, for the Black people scrutinizing her, what it's like to be amongst a group of people like this. I can relate to it heavily. I went to one of the most prevalent private schools here in the Bay Area for much of my childhood. I was one of like 3 Black kids from K through high school in the entire school. I don't quite know how to explain it respectfully, but when you're around a certain group of people that can be different from you, or when you're the minority, sometimes people do say things that they don't intend or mean to be as offensive. Other times people say things that they know people will assume they didn't intend to be a certain way, but they know how that shit comes off. And
I'm gonna say it like this. I'm gonna say it like this because Sutton broke it down very well. It's not the fact that Dorit say that she attacked me. It was the overall connotation of what that can do in a room full of white women that all have power in the same city, that could block her potentially based on that one word. This woman has made a livelihood being an actress, and she has a lady in the room whose husband is one of the biggest TV directors in the world. So when you say Garcelle attacked me, Garcelle did this in a room full of people, no one understood what Dorit was saying. All they heard was Garcelle attacked me.
That's right.
So if the word attack had the connotation, imagine how far that would carry.
Yeah.
So you
and that's
have to be
Garcelle's
careful.
Literally what you're saying is the point that Garcelle has tried to make both off camera and on camera on the show. And people struggle to understand it. And that's the thing. Dorit, in my opinion, played classic Karen from what we've seen this far.
Yes.
And the reason I say that is because how do you need a few days after a situation where you have
herself?
You've offended
victimized
someone
herself.
else,
Yes,
but now
from her,
you need a few days.
Because from what Dorit is saying, if someone says I attack somebody, I'm not gonna take offense to that. It's because when you attack somebody, people think it's cute and funny. When Garcelle attacks somebody, people call her an angry Black woman. It's way too many different things. We've seen you attack somebody, Pantygate, with the lady that's sitting in front of you. That didn't go nowhere. So Garcelle.
The other thing I noticed with this scene that bothered me is Erica's wishy-washy. And Erica's the type of white woman that's a little problematic. You got to pick, either you're going to defend us and understand our people, or you don't understand us. And that's fine. But don't go on camera and be like so quick to, because you're a white woman, so it hits different. But then when you have the opportunity to educate this woman, since you have the knowledge that she obviously is missing, you choose to not check her. Erica, you should have kept the same energy that you had in your confessionals and explaining it to Dorit, because people like Dorit are only going to get it from people who look like Dorit.
Exactly. And that's why she couldn't understand Garcelle. So again, I was also mad at Erica about that as well, because it seems like you doubled down on wanting to educate her, but at the same time wanted to give her grace about the situation. In this situation, she wasn't a victim, so there is no grace that you need to give her.
When it comes to racial undertones, microaggressions, or anything that offends people based on race, religion, anything like that, you're wrong. Don't look for a way to victimize yourself. Don't make it about yourself. No one cares about your discomfort. We have to live in this shit.
Yeah, to watch Dorit, white woman, that situation. And when I mean by white woman, because someone asked me about that. What is white woman? Okay, if you've never seen the movie Rosewood from 1997, then you need to watch it and then come back to me and ask me
what to watch it.
Yeah, you need to go back, watch that movie, and then come back to me and ask me what that definition is. Because what I'm about to tell you is going to go over your head completely. So, for those who do not understand, when I say white woman, the situation, I am making a reference to the movie Rosewood, 1997, that stars Ving Rhames and Elise Neal. It's about a
Mhm.
white woman who destroyed a complete town that was mainly operated by black people because she couldn't get the man that she was having an affair with on her husband over. And they burnt
Mhm.
down the whole town trying to find a black man who didn't exist.
Yep.
And then when
Yep.
they found a black man that fit the mold, they tried to hang him.
Yep.
But they put these black people through torture all because of her tears and because she said it was a black man who did it. That's
Mm.
what we mean by white woman. Emmett Till. That's what we mean by white woman in a situation because white women can do things like that and have absolutely no consequence to their actions.
Mhm.
They're allowed
Yeah.
to be nonsensical. We say this
Mhm.
all the time. I'm
Yeah.
not angry at them for being that way, but I want them to acknowledge that they can do that because the
Yeah.
more you're aware of that you can do
I
that, the
also
more
think
it
that
can change.
even with how people are handling the issue with Dorit and Garcelle, it proves the point of they also get the benefit of the doubt when Black women are often not given that.
Yes.
Garcelle
Yes.
is online right now with people saying she's either milking it, playing the race card, or bullshitting. But she's someone who has been offended not once, not twice, but multiple times by Dorit in a way that is a
I think
racial
people are
issue.
saying she's
And
milking it, but
somehow they're trying to give Dorit the benefit of the doubt. People are defending Dorit, but we'll get into it more. But
yeah,
I just
I know. Save it.
it's very interesting that people are operating the way that they're operating with the issue. I know some people may not see it as a big issue, but honestly, when you deal with racism constantly, which a lot of African Americans do, sometimes you have to say something before it gets to a point of being too far or blatantly like a problem, which Garcelle's tried to do. But on a lighter note, the next thing we see is Sutton Dayton. And I thought that this was the one thing they edited in at the right time in the perfect way. We love Sutton on this channel. She's my favorite housewife. James, one of his top 5 favorite housewives. Everybody loves Sutton. Sutton is funny as hell. Sutton is doing exactly what some cast members on the Housewives of Potomac, just a side note, need to do, which we will be back recapping next week because they are coming back. But like Sutton actually shares her dating story. Like we see her trying. She's actually giving us something and it's enjoyable to watch. It's funny as hell. So she gets feedback from her last date, which I thought was funny because that guy sucked the first date that she went on. Don't nobody want no mama's boy. I don't care how rich you are. You sitting up here talking to me about how your mama gonna be a part of everything we do. No.
Yeah, that irritated me as well, and I couldn't blame Sutton for not wanting to give that man another chance because it's like, man, sir, like you have to understand, we old. We is too old for this. You not 19 and 20, and even then it's questionable. But you too old to be talking about your mama taking your mama to Vegas, saying you and your mama in the same house, saying you like to visit her every chance you get. That's all fine and dandy, but we on date number one. I shouldn't know nothing about your mama but the fact that you just have one.
Yep. Yep.
That's all I should know. Other
That's
than that,
about it.
that's about it. Just saying.
Oh, I have forgot to acknowledge a comment from Also Best. He said the claim or word attack can surely destroy someone's
Absolutely.
career immediately. I cannot fucking talk. That is true, and we will come back to this comment as we discuss, the issue more because the comment will become relevant later in the episode, and he don't even realize it. The man don't watch the episodes. Anywho, moving it along. Sutton gets the feedback from the date. She didn't get bad feedback. She pretty much the guy couldn't tell that she was interested in him, and it's because she wasn't. And I didn't understand why Sutton didn't tell her dating coach, like, I didn't like this guy. But she's such a lady and so polite. She probably
Well,
didn't want
no,
to
it's
drag
just
him.
because that lady said, and she can't be picky. So in terms of that, I think Sutton took that as I can't complain about this man because then that looks like
I
I'm
feel
being
like
picky.
you should be picky when dating,
Absolutely, and that's
but
why I can't
like
stand people.
realistically picky because you have to
You have to deal with these people. Like, and
yes.
then if it works out, you got to deal with them. So yeah, they need to have certain traits that you like, and yes, they need to have certain immobility of personality that you can tolerate for long periods of time. Absolutely. That's why I said no. It's perfectly honest to be picky. I don't call it picky. I call it selective.
Yeah, that's a good way to be.
Yes, that is
I think
selective.
that's the perfect word. I like that.
Yes.
That's why you're a writer. Speaking of which, we go keep encouraging James. Tell her we want the first chapter. We ain't forgot.
I ain't forgot either. I just got to pick out the right time to do it.
I'm about to be on his ass like white on rice.
Yeah, because yes, everybody is.
Anywho, I'm sorry, y'all. I still have this crazy cough from having the flu. The flu is no joke. The flu is worse than COVID. Even my COVID cough was gone faster than this shit. Anywho, apologies for that. I'd be tired. I just want health in my life. But we did see Kim. She goes to see Kyle because Kim's daughter is going to be getting married. And I'm not going to comment too much on this. I know y'all probably going to call me like, Amina, you're an asshole. But listen, I'm sick of their sister drama. We've been dealing with this shit for 13 seasons. And there's just times and things referenced that have been none of our business as the public. We have not cared. We have not asked. I'm honestly just happy to see Kim sober and doing good. And Kyle just seems stuck in the drama, and I don't understand it. But what I will say, when they were having their talk, Kyle was finally real about Big Kathy. Now, for those unsure, there's a Hulu documentary that you can go watch and look at, set you up a free trial. There are actually a couple documentaries on Big Kathy, which is Kyle, Kim, and Kathy Hilton's mom. And she is known to have not been the nicest person. People did not like her. She's known to have had a terrible temper and a horrible reputation. This is information that is alleged in public. This is not something I am saying personally on my channel, but it looks like, based on them crying over how their mom was and trying to understand her ways after death, looks like things I've always suspected their mom and the way that she was and her upbringing probably impacted their sisterhood and the way that they.
I don't know why. I never knew what that lady looked like until that picture they showed on this episode, because I never was that curious to Google her.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know why I pictured, like, if y'all ever seen Tyler Perry's Too Close to Home series, the mama from that one that was really heavy set and had the mole and everything. I don't know why I thought that that's what their mom looks like. I don't know why I thought that, but that's what I pictured when people say Big Kathy. I pictured Too Close to Home. If y'all ain't never seen that series, y'all, I don't know if it's streaming anywhere, but that was one of the best Tyler Perry series that he could have ever gotten rid of. I don't know why he got rid of it.
He always gets rid of his best
the
series.
good ones. I'm telling you, that one was so good. But yes, that's what I thought their mom looks like. I don't know why. She's actually very pretty, the lady that they showed.
Lord help us.
Yeah.
Listen, all I'm gonna say about these sisters, I'm not gonna get, when it comes to like actual stuff with kids or sisters, shit that I think is genuine, which I thought that this scene was, I don't like to comment too much. I think that we as an audience need to push Kyle the hell off the show. And I'm not saying that just like because I don't like how she handles stuff. I'm saying that based on what I saw in this scene. His family is hurting. They obviously dealt with some emotional, verbal, mental abuse from their mom based on how they described her. We shouldn't be just, getting at the dead. She's gone. We're going to let her rest in peace. But her actions and how she was has definitely affected all of her children. And the only time you see people get their life right in that family is when they come up off that camera. Kyle needs to come up off that camera and, live her life for a little bit, without the show, without the cameras, without the extra fame and stuff, and, find some healing. Everyone else has had a break off camera except for Kyle. It's time. You're not that interesting anyway on the show. So we're okay if you go and take you a little break and then return. Nene Leakes did it. Teresa Giudice did it. People do this. They leave and they come back. So I encourage you to do that, Kyle, because right now you have nothing to give. And I'm tired of hearing about the family issue when you don't even want to discuss it in a way that we can understand. So I'll leave it there unless James has something to say.
Nope.
Yeah. Anywho, the next thing we see is another nothing scene that I laughed at with my spouse. Crystal is talking with her husband and she's speaking with him about the group. And even her husband told her, speak up. Like, I was cracking up because those are the relationships you want to be in. You do not want to be with someone who's just going to be like, yes, babe, whatever you say, babe. Oh, that's how you feel? Then I support it, babe. No, like that man looked tired of her in this scene. For one, he looked tired of Crystal. And the way that he gulped that wine down, I could tell that he wants his wife to speak up more because,
it's not, I don't think she has a problem speaking up. I think she just has
she does in this group.
Very,
She does in this group. She say all the things she needs to say. in her confessionals. And I feel
Here's the
like
thing. I
Crystal could
think
be a
she
great
got
housewife
scarred.
if she would say more in person.
I think she's cautious about what she said because of her situation with Sutton. I
Hmm.
think that could have turned very like in a wrong direction, and she was able to kind of recover because she realized. I think she's cautious because of how she moves. I really do think that scared her. I think when she gets scared, she shuts down and she's quiet. A fear of saying the wrong thing, and then it having a very dire consequence. I think
That
that's
is a
really what
good
it is.
observation,
Mhm.
probably the best observation, because she's someone who struggles with ED and eating disorder.
Yes.
And people who struggle with that often are people who struggle to and have a fear of certain things. So
Oh,
it definitely makes sense. I like Crystal. I just want her to
and I
speak
want
up
Jeffrey to
more.
stop playing. Stop playing. I'm not playing with you. Stop playing.
She keeps equating and saying
Allegedly.
she has body issues and compares herself because the women are all getting so skinny. I know some people were like, "Oh, she was throwing shade." We know half this cast is on Ozempic. Magnet. I can't say the fucking generic name, but we know that. But I genuinely think she fucking she didn't realize when she's talking about her struggles. Like, you throwing shade at these bitches. And this is why we keep Crystal. Her husband, I think he just wants her to be okay, but he did seem a little checked out of the process. What I'll say on the Crystal scene, and Mrs. Best's most personal opinion, people who struggle with eating disorders, like Jackie Goldschneider on Housewives of New Jersey, Crystal on Housewives of Beverly Hills, like, I wish that Bravo would put something in the contract that says, like, we don't need to see their therapy sessions, but they need to have like a counselor or
Yes.
someone with them
Or
in
do
the
some kind of
background to help them
PSA where
do
you're
this.
bringing awareness to this issue because this is
Hmm.
still an issue.
Yeah.
I don't know how, but this is still an issue today.
Yeah.
So I would have. It's irresponsible of Bravo not to have any kind of PSA because if she was suicidal, y'all would have
Hmm.
a PSA and making
You would.
sure. So this,
Or if she was, and self-harm is more than just cutting. Having an eating disorder is a form of
yes,
self-harm.
yes.
So there should always be something that Bravo says, but I won't say too much on that. Crystal, listen, open your mouth a little bit more and understand, even though I know you can't fix or cure an eating disorder, at the very least, like, you try to eat, you try to
It's
do things the
okay to
right way.
check.
These bitches is taking medication from people who actually need
Yes,
it so they
it's
can be
okay to
skinny.
check Erica and Doris every now and then.
It
Just
is.
because you can, just because you know the shit they do is wrong. It's okay to check Doris and Erica every now and then, Crystal. It's
Yeah,
okay. We gonna love you. We really will. On Watch Your Mouth Reviews channel, I'ma love you. I promise you I will.
you
Because you're
can, because
doing
I feel like if Crystal opened her mouth, she would check the hell out of this cast. And James is probably right. That's probably why she's not, because she's very cautious about what she says and does, which is something people of color have to do when they're on TV. Just
I don't feel
saying.
like she has to do that. She's married, as I said, she's
I
married to
feel
one of
like
the
she
most
does.
powerful directors in this game.
That's the thing. Just because you're married to somebody
No,
powerful,
she wouldn't be
especially on
finished
this
like,
show.
okay, there's a difference. She wouldn't be written off like Garcelle would, has
Yeah,
she,
this is true. This is
So
very true.
that's why I'm saying you have to understand. No, 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 no. She holds a card too. She got a
Mm,
token. Garcelle done got no token. That's why I said for her to have that kind of stability, she could use that token. Really, like I told you, Erica Sutton and Garcelle could change the whole dynamic of this group and outs out Erica, Kyle, and Dorit. Getting
it
rid of
could.
Lisa Rinna was one thing. Getting rid of the other three, and then y'all could change the dynamic of the show. The reason why y'all don't is because y'all scared of how the public will perceive you. And sometimes you got to take the risk, like Monica Garcia did of Salt Lake
Yeah.
City. So you got to take that risk.
Yeah,
The
because
worst case of
Beverly
thing,
Hills could be 20 times more interesting if we had
yes.
castmates like this, because when there's not
And
nothing
that's and
happening.
you know what's funny? I forgot to mention in my video. I mentioned this since this is Real Housewife. Bravo, y'all stop trying to get rich women to come on the show
Yeah,
and get
we've
normal
talked
ass women.
about that.
They
Yeah.
ain't got to they ain't got to be broke, but they can be people who have regular lives that have time to film. So that way they could be relatable. None of these women are
Mhm.
relatable
Not
on this
one.
franchise.
Yeah,
Not one of them.
not one of them.
Not one of them.
Yeah.
So if we're really going to sit here, be entertained, try to sympathize with these women and their issues, trying to also equate looking at their growth. We need to be able to pick it out. I can't pick out growth
Mhm.
with them. I can't pick out growth with Sutton. I
Yeah.
envy her because getting $300,000 a month is amazing, and trust me,
But it's
Sutton, if
also unrealistic
it's
even for the
unrealistic at
richest
the same
of
time because I've never
divorces.
heard of
Yeah.
somebody getting that much in spousal
Yeah.
support
Yeah.
every single month
Yeah.
for the next however many years she finna get this.
Well, I'm glad you brought up Sutton. We see her go on another date, and this date goes better. It seemed like it was easy for them to flow. He asked for the digits. She gave him the digits. I hope to see it go and turn into something more. I'm tired of Sutton being friend zone, and I'll leave
Yeah,
that there.
but Sutton, don't mess up our money though. Don't marry this man. Just just date. It's
Not don't
okay.
mess up our money. When
Don't
you
mess up.
have the spousal support that Sutton's had, and she's had this for a few years now, I'm pretty sure, unless she's an absolute fool, she should be golden on money. She should be golden.
I feel like she is golden, but I feel like for how many more years she get this, I would run it to the max out. Unless I was guaranteed the settlement that Camille Grammer was given. If I
I
was
mean, she
guaranteed
still
that,
has an underage kid too, so she's getting child support too. I'm
he's
like,
gonna be grown. He's gonna
I
be grown in
know, but
about
I'm
2 more
just saying
years.
she getting 2 checks,
He
like
getting
2
2
really
checks,
good
and
checks.
then he wrote her a check for cash. I said, God damn, son, shit.
Listen,
Oh man.
you can say what you want. He left that woman, but at the very least, she
He
has
did what he was supposed to
something.
do. He stepped up. He didn't give a fuck about losing that money.
I mean, you should make enough to where you don't care.
Absolutely. It's where you don't care. Or if you knew you didn't want this woman no more, make enough to pay her off because she had to deal with your funky ass for 20 years. Absolutely.
Not your funky ass.
No, I'm tired of me with that bullshit. If they put up with you for 20 fucking years, yes, pay the lady. She deserve your shit. She probably
Yeah,
had to
I
go
feel
through
like when you've
hell.
been married for longer than 10 years, like if something,
Yeah.
I would want my cut. You better
I'm
believe
just saying, like,
it.
absolutely. Especially
But
if you got it. Yes, especially if you got it. Like, what the hell?
he said, Shadow will. So the last thing we see is Garcelle and Doris meet. You could cut the tension with the fucking knife, a butter knife that's plastic. That shit was so fucking awkward. I was mad at the waiter, like, you can't sense this, sir. But you know, he got to do his job, work for his tips. So
Hell yeah. Should I be like,
Garcelle
what
tried to
y'all want?
explain. She tried to explain she don't want to eat, she don't want nothing. She was just there to talk. And she pretty much explains to Doris, you can't say 3 words to about or to Black women. You can't insinuate that we're angry, aggressive, or say that we've attacked you. As a Black woman, that is something that I have experienced when people have done wrong to me. Like, especially at work, because I have a background in management, light background in corporate America as well, sales and marketing. I'm usually the youngest and only person of color in the room and one of very few women. So I definitely can understand where Garcelle is coming from. Those of you who get it, get it. Those of you who don't. It's like Garcelle said, it's not my job to educate you, honey. But it definitely is something that Black women experience. Black men experience it as well. But I think women in general get a stigma of being angry, difficult, and overly emotional. And then you add Blackness to that, and it just becomes an even larger problem. So I got where Garcelle was coming from. And then Doris, she ignores pretty much the whole point and says, well, everyone has used the word attack in this group. It's not about every other person in this group who has hair that is not like wool and skin that needs sunscreen. Okay. She's talking about her experience as a minority in this group. When you use the words that the rest of you use in this group with her, it has deeper and heavier meaning and connotations. It can actually impact her outside of this group in her daily life, especially living in racist ass Southern California. Those who are not from California think this place is liberal. It's not. The people just come out to vote, who vote are liberal, but there are a lot of issues in this state with race, especially.
It is, and it's what's California's racism. It's elitist. That's what California's racism is. It's elitist, and it don't matter how rich a Black person is. The white people who are elitist and has a lot more money are still going to see them as beneath them. They could be richer than any of them. They're
That's
still
very
going to
true.
say it's not far to take you from that ghetto. That's exactly
Mhm.
what they're saying. And I can remember even me, because I've always had a broad vocabulary, even when I was a teenager. I've always spoke well. And I always got that I'm just no different from the one who could not speak the way I did. I was no different than him. So I feel like, yeah, California's racism is elitist. And what I wanted Dorit to do was humble herself enough to be like, you know what? I get the word hurts you and can have a damaging effect on your being. That's what she
Reed
really
did
wanted
the
to do.
worst thing that she could have done, and that was try to argue in a way that negated the point that Garcelle was trying to make.
Exactly. And I think that
You
that's why.
cannot compare your experience with a bunch of white broads to that experience of being the one African American person or the one Asian person or the one person of color amongst a group like this. This cast has never even had a person of color on it to where that's why Garcelle being on the show was such a big deal before we even got to see anything. Dorit trying to argue down, oh, well, everyone else uses the word, just proves that she doesn't understand further. Separate from that, from how the conversation went, Garcelle then explains to Dorit, it's like you have unconscious Karen behavior. And I thought that that was the best way to explain Dorit, because I've said this on my channel since doing these recaps the whole time. This lady is and does throw microaggressions constantly whenever around Garcelle. And I'm sick of it when she goes to Garcelle's events and there's more Black people than normal. She suddenly has PTSD and is throwing others, like, it's may not be intentional, but that's exactly what Black people have been trying to tell Caucasian people in this country for years. Yes, we're not in 1969 where your parents may be hosing us the fuck down because they don't like our skin. However, those same people have raised children and are everywhere in this country. So even though something today isn't as socially accepted, doesn't mean that people don't understand and have those feelings. They just
Right,
understand that
because
it's
they
not
just pass it
socially
down from
accepted.
generation to generation to generation, and then it continues to look different and different as time goes on.
Yeah,
Racism never stopped, you guys.
it never
Segregation never stopped. It
it
just
never
now looks
stopped.
differently. We
Yeah,
now can systematically banish it to where it'll appear in the moments where it could affect our livelihoods, it could
yeah,
affect our way of being, it could affect our way to grow as and elevate as people. That's what it looks like today.
yeah.
So when Dorit spits out her mouth, well, I'm Jewish and I'm
Oh, no,
this.
no, no. The Jewish point, that's an important thing too. Now I know that they have a lot going on over,
I get that,
across the
no,
world.
I get that. I knew you were going there, but I needed to make this point. No one is negating that. Nobody, no Black American is negating what Jewish people have went through in this world and the fact that they still to this day go through hate crimes. Nobody is negating that. But what I would have preferred her not to do is use it as a checkmate to then soften your experience versus her experience, because now it looks like y'all are playing tit for tat now.
All I'm gonna say with the Jewish thing, people respect the pain that people experienced in the Holocaust a hell of a lot fucking more than they respect the pain that we endured during slavery.
Right,
And it shows in how people handle it. And like you just said, to use her religion as a weapon to fight someone who's feeling like their race
right,
has been used as a weapon was whack. And I will say this, I've experienced a lot of Jewish people who have been like, well, I'm Jewish. We've been through just as much. We should not be comparing pain at
right,
all. But what we need to do is realize that when it comes to acknowledging and respecting pain, that the Holocaust is taught in all 50 states in curriculum. It is taught in all 50 states, while people are crying about critical race theory and having to teach people about shit that actually impacted America. Because that the Holocaust, that didn't happen here. Just so everybody knows, it did not happen in America. So it's interesting that we're fighting for the wrong things in schools. Black people can't even get anything taught in schools outside of Martin Luther King, around Martin Luther King Day, which kids don't go to school. They might make a project or something, but no one wants to talk about the events that led up to Dr. King even having to do the things that he had to do, or Malcolm X, or Marcus Garvey, or Sojourner Truth. I could go on and on and on and on. So to compare that, and Jewish people have done that a lot, and this has nothing to do with what's going on across the world right now with the Jews and the Palestinians. I am not commenting on that shit on my channel. I am not CNN, okay? Aaron Burnett is not here. So, you know, but it's just problematic that Dorit went to do that. It was disgusting. If anything, you're doing your people a disservice by saying that, well, I'm Jewish. You can't compare being Jewish to being Black, and we can't compare being Black to being Jewish. We just should not compare it. Both cultures have experienced pain, and it's that. And this is why Garcelle said, it's not my job to educate you, because Dorit has always had a racist undertone, even before people of color were on the cast. And some people, and I think Garcelle has this attitude, you're not going to be able to help them. You're not. You may have started it, and Dorit can say at the end, because this is where the episode ends, she can say she understood and she learned a lot. How can you learn a lot when you argued everything that she said? When you had an excuse
that was the
everything.
most like condescending thing she could have did in that moment, was saying that she learned a lot. Yeah, you were trying to trump her with experiences of your ancestry.
And in current day, the way you've handled the issue on your social media, you've mocked her. Yeah. You've made jokes on your social media post about the situation. And you have methodically and carefully made sure to only post photos of your family, thinking, oh, if my kids are there, ain't nobody gonna say shit. Dorit is full of shit. She tried to play dumb, but then her actions off of the show and on the internet show that you didn't learn anything, you're not apologetic, you lack empathy, and you don't understand. And we would respect you more as people of color if you would just admit, listen, I don't have those experiences, I don't get it. But I'm going to try and understand.
Say, I'm a racist and I'm proud. I'm being serious. I would rather someone say that to me than to give me microaggressions and give me aggressive, irregular behavior and me be puzzled of why you're doing that to me. No, I'd rather you just be open and blunt about it, because at the end of the day, it looks the same. Regardless, it's just one, I'm more aware of it, so I know to avoid you. Versus me having to be in a room with you and me having to try to say it where I'm not being heard.
I think that's an important point too, because I felt that way dealing with racist white folks sometimes. Like, if you just admit that you don't like me because of my skin color, listen, I can't change that shit. I can get mad about it. I could do that, but what I'm gonna do now is at least I know who to avoid. I can stay the fuck away from
I want to procure my safety as a person.
Cowardly as fuck. And this is racist people in general, the biggest cowards ever. If you don't like me,
because when you think about the overall analyzation of it, you have no reason to do it. To hate someone of my skin complexion, you have no reason to do it. None at all. But the fact that that's prevalent in your mindset to do that, it makes it even more apparent to say, hey, just go ahead and blade it out, because I can avoid you. I can do what you're asking me to do, which is avoid you. Right? Yeah. So I would rather Dorit say that and Garcelle avoid her than the Garcelle fall victim of the microaggressions and not be heard when the rest of the cast, excluding one other Asian descent lady, cannot see it. But one white lady saw it. And tried to explain to her, but then tried to double down on it and say, well, she's still a good person. And it was like, no, stand in it. But that's not what white women do.
Garcelle, at this point, I feel like needs to do more to end the live. I feel like Garcelle needs to do more in terms of avoiding filming with Dorit. Here's what I do agree with that I'm seeing online. You can't talk about and get so upset at this lady's racist undertones and microaggressions and then continue to be around her. You got to put your fucking culture and your morals ahead of your fucking paycheck sometimes. It doesn't matter if you're on a show. It doesn't matter if you're at a job. I've quit jobs because they wouldn't treat me right because of my skin color at times. Like, I'm the firm believer money is a materialistic object. As fast as you get it, it's as fast as it'll go, and vice versa. So Garcelle, if this lady really is throwing racial undertones, which we can see through watching the show, and these other women aren't defending you. You can't expect them to. You have the power to say, I'm not going to film with this hoe. Because one thing we can say separate from color, bitch ain't had a storyline in years. So stop filming with Dorit if she's going to do that. Keep your foot on her neck in the right way. If somebody is treating me like that, just like James has said, and if someone's treating him like that, you're just not going to want to be around them. So don't be around her. Dorit's not going to change. I don't think she's going to change. I don't believe you can teach an old dog new tricks. I mean, just based on how she is, the cultures that she likes to say that she has and comes from, they all have a history of being racist towards African-American people, including PK's culture. So, you know, it is what it is. You know what to expect from Dorit. So stop expecting differently. Stop filming with her. Sometimes you can rise above and handle things without arguing or entertaining a person at all. I think ourselves at that point where she needs to do it, because I can't keep talking about this every week. But that was the recap. That's all we got on this episode. I'm curious to see how fast they'll go into this Kyle Mauricio bullshit. I think this season was like honestly rushed. I feel like they could have waited for a little bit. There's not much that's happening. 1 year, PETA, I do not pay for channel promotions. I do not pay for subscribers. I do not pay for views, because that will interrupt me being able to qualify for YouTube's partner program. Let me just make that clear, because I keep getting bots, and some of them are not bots, just people trying to scam. If you send me anything like this, I'm going to say what I'm saying now. I don't pay for that. I'm not going to pay for that. I'm here to talk about shows with my friend. And if people like us, then they will subscribe. And if they don't, then they won't. Please come off my channel with that. And I've now blocked you from leaving comments. Anywho, we are going to end the episode. I have fun recapping the episode. Remember that the things that I say are alleged. They're based on personal opinion on things that we see on the show. Please do not take the license of hearing us speak about racial comments as thinking that me or James hate a certain type of people or anything like that. We do not. Please be respectful in the comments. You know, just comment on the show and leave it there. We'll be back next Thursday to go over this show as well. We'll also be back with the Housewives of Potomac and Married to Medicine on James's channel. And then we have the Bell Collective reunion, the Salt Lake City reunion. Next week will be a busy day for views for James. And then we also have Hip Hop Atlanta coming back.
Ooh. We got a busy schedule for y'all, but I'm very excited to say the least. So thank you guys for having me. Thank you, Mrs. Best. It's always been a pleasure, and we'll see you guys soon. Bye now.
Adios, y'all.